Okay, welcome back. This is part 2. We're going to go ahead and create an event and start bringing things in. Okay, so I'm going to click up here on this tab called Main Events, and then I'm going to click on this third button here to just add a blank new event. Again, we've got conditions over here on the left and then actions. When the conditions are true, then the actions will occur. That's the basics of how coding and events work inside GDevelop. Okay, so that's it. They just wanted us to create a brand new event. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so now they need us to bring in both the red car, and they're giving us certain coordinates, certain locations for the car. You can see that they're highlighted over here. And again, we're going to go ahead and follow along on the tutorial and see where that goes. Okay, so I just dragged and dropped the car in, and when you click on the car or any object, you'll then see the properties of the car over here, and you can see the X and Y coordinates over here. And so I think we'll be using coordinates an awful lot in this tutorial. You can also see something that's really helpful is that wherever I move my mouse pointer, down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the X and Y coordinates there as well. And I think we're going to need that quite a bit to get through this tutorial. Okay, so they're saying 200 and 400. Okay, so there we go. That looks about right. Okay, so now we need to bring in the highway. And I found that sometimes after I drag in an object, I then can't click it. Can't click on anything. So let's see if maybe pressing escape. There we go. Okay, I think it's just catching up to itself. Okay, so I just had to click around for a little bit. That's mildly annoying, but okay, so they're saying to put it at 0, 0, which puts it up here in the top left. And you can see it's covering up the car, which we'll take care of next, I believe. Okay, so they're saying to go ahead and press play, and you can see that the highway is right on top of the car. And we're going to go ahead and fix that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use something called Z order. So with the highway selected, you're going to come over here to the properties, and you're going to change the Z order over here. You're going to make the highway 1, and then you can make the car needs to be a higher one, so we'll make that 2. And there we go. That should have done it. Okay, so I guess maybe I just didn't press the number quite hard enough. So there you go. Comes in just fine. Okay, so the car was on 2, and really it doesn't matter if you use 1 or 2 as long as the car is a higher number. And you can see here, here's a good example where the text description says to put the highway at a Z order of 1 and the car to 2, and then you look at the screenshot and they have different numbers here. So if you're trying to follow the tutorial exactly, this is where you might be confused, but if you understand how Z order works, you understand that both of these ways will work. So I think there's going to be a lot of instances like that in this tutorial. Okay, so next they're going to go ahead and they're dragging out, and I do like how they did the animated version of this, so that's nice. And you can either manually drag out the road, or you can come in here and you can actually type in numbers here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try doing that because it is a little more exact. All right, so we're supposed to click on the street, and of course that isn't working right now. Okay, I got the street selected here. I'm going to click on custom size, and then they're giving me the numbers 535 by 1000. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully it'll fix what's going on over here on the right-hand side pretty soon. Okay, so of course that's the very next section, getting our game to the center of the window. So now we're going to go ahead and do some event programming. All right, so we're going to change the camera, and this is a pretty important step here because they're giving us some values. Okay, so we're going to set the camera here, and because it's the camera and it's happening at the entire beginning of the game and throughout the whole game, there's going to be no condition, and that way it means it's just always happening. So it's just going to have an action. All right, so we come over here and we go to our events tab. We click on add action, and they're saying that the action that we want is to set the camera's center X position. So you can go looking through the categories over here. I find that the search is the faster way to go. So I'm just going to type in camera, and you can see right here, camera center X position. Okay, so once we choose that, they're then saying that it should be, the operator should be set to equals, and the value, and this is pretty important here, is set to 267.5. There we go, and hit OK. And so the reason why they're choosing that value, 267.5, is because it's half of the width of the highway, because our highway is 535 pixels. So there we are. Okay. And again, if you're following the tutorial, they then go ahead and say, or you can go ahead and search for it there, and there you are. Which is kind of funny because they first show in the first screenshot, they show you this value here, and then in the second screenshot, they then give you a different value here. So that's a little weird. Okay, so now they're going to go ahead and set up the Y position. So we're going to add another action. Again, camera. This is for the Y position is set to or equals, and they're saying 350 for the Y. Set OK, save. Okay, and if we go ahead and press play. Okay, so that looks pretty centered. Okay, so now we're going to make the car start to move through coding, and then I think that'll take us to the end of this part. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to now make a new event. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add comments along the way. So here's my first comment, and this is camera centered. And then I'll make a new comment. And this is going to be car movement. And we'll add a new event. Okay, so we're going to add a condition. And I'm going to search for key. And it's going to be key pressed. Now they're saying to do left and right arrows. which I'll go ahead and follow, but if you want to use any other two keys like A and D, you can go ahead and do that, of course. Okay, so for left key, all right, so now we're looking for, and this is really important, we're looking for the top-down movement, and it's going to simulate left key press. So we're going to go to Add Action, and we're going to go, I'm going to say Simulate. I'm going to search the term Simulate. There's a lot of Simulate here. So you'll notice that here's where the confusion can come in. Here it says Simulate left key press, but look beneath it, it says Platform Behavior. We're not doing a platform behavior. We're doing a top-down movement. So if you look down here, you can start to see top-down movement. So here it is right here, top-down movement, simulate left key press. So that's where a lot of people get mixed up, is they see the very first one and they just get confused. So if I just try typing in top, if I do top down, then you'll find it right here, and that can actually help you out. So that's the one we want. We want it to be set up for our red car. Just make sure we're not missing anything else. And press OK. Okay, so now we're giving it some rotation. Okay, so now we're going to give it the turning or steering rotation ability here. And that's going to be another action when we do left or right. Yeah, so that's going to be a second action. They don't really say that there, but you kind of have to know that. Okay, so when the left key is pressed, it's going to simulate left, and then we're going to add an action, and we're going to go ahead and search the word rotate, and we want the action to rotate towards an angle. So we're going to choose that one there. Again, red car, and because this one is going to the left, it's going to be a negative number, and they're saying to do negative 30, and they're saying that the angular speed is 60 degrees per second. And again, they probably, whoever wrote the tutorial, probably tried that out and did that several times before they figured out that was fast enough. And the angular speed is never going to be a negative number. It's always going to be a positive number. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the left. If I go ahead and press OK, let's test that out. And you can see, there we go. So that's pretty good, even though I'm crashing. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to create this whole same thing, but now for the right. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new event. And let's see, I don't know if you can actually copy and paste a whole event. That would be kind of cool. I know you can copy and paste individual ones, so the way you can do that is if I want to copy this condition, I can just right mouse click, choose copy, then come down here and paste it in there. So that's easy enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that for now. Copy, paste actions, copy and paste. So again, I right mouse clicked to copy the condition and actions, and then I came down here and then I left mouse click, paste actions, and that way I did it. Okay, so now I just need to flip these settings here. So to change the settings, you can just double click and that'll bring you right here to this window here, or you can click right on the individual settings and you can just type them in. So this one's going to be right. So I'm pressing the right key, and then this one is going to be different over here. It's going to be simulating the right key, so just make sure you're correct there for the red car. And then for this value here, we want this to just be 30 degrees positive, and then 60 degrees. There we go. Okay, that should be good. So now left, right, and we're getting the movement there. Okay, so now what we're next going to do is when we let go of the left and right keys, it should return back to normal orientation. Okay, and I think because I'm coming up here to 15 minutes now, I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'll see you in part 3.